So the next stage in preparing for sentencing, after you've done the personal narrative, after you've done your due diligence and preparing for the pre-sentence investigation report, is going to be focusing on the character reference letters. This is super important. And if you haven't seen the previous lessons, it's super simple to find them. Just go to our website at prisonfessors.org, click on courses, go to lessons, and find the area where you are at what stage in the journey, and then you will get that information right there. But this is about a character reference letter and what can you do to use this asset to help you influence the journey ahead. Now, you should know that a federal judge is very likely knows what the prosecutor is going to say. They're going to try and portray you as a person who is deserving of a lengthy sentence. That's their job. They represent the people. They don't represent you. And they're going to build a case on getting the most severe sanction for you. Your defense attorney is going to do just the opposite. They're going to argue why you should not get the most severe sentence. And the judge knows that. The judge very likely worked as a prosecutor at one stage in his journey or as a defense attorney. If he didn't work in those roles, he has certainly listened to more than 1,000 of those people. Otherwise, he wouldn't be a federal judge. So neither one of those people are going to say anything that the judge doesn't already know. But what the judge needs to learn more about is about you. Who are you? And hopefully you've taken the time to develop a very strong personal narrative that gives him that insight and helps him see you in the way that the people who love you and care about you see you. But he is also going to know that there is an element of salesmanship in that narrative. You are selling yourself. And that is, nothing is wrong with that. I don't think you have to become a very strong self-advocate for yourself. But you can really fortify those efforts by getting character reference letters. Sometimes that's harder than it sounds because you've got to get people to go on record and talk about why you are an individual of good character. That good character doesn't have anything to do with your crime, but it has everything to do with counterbalancing the way that the government prosecutor is going to present you to the court. So one of the first questions you have to consider when launching your character reference letter campaign is consider who should write that letter. So obviously it should be family members, but you know that those family members, that's going to have a weighting on it that might not be quite as effective as people who don't have such a vested interest in your getting the best outcome. So think about employers or colleagues or business partners or members of the clergy, mentors in your life, members of the community, your teachers, your coaches. All of those people could serve as outstanding character reference letters. I've interviewed a number of federal judges, and you've seen some of those videos, I hope, on our website. But you will learn that they're not terribly impressed with people who go out and try to find character reference letters from people that only have a tangential relationship to you. You know, somebody who's a senator or a leading member of the community, or somebody that doesn't really know you personally, but just writes a letter for some other reason. And there can be a lot of reasons. At the end of the day, the judge wants to hear from people who truly know you and have known you for a long time. And that leads into, well, what should that character reference say? Well, it should demonstrate that the person really does have a relationship with you. So they should talk about how do they know you? How did your relationship begin? How long have they been in your corner? They may want to talk about what you've told them about your role in this offense. And if you've pleaded guilty or accepted responsibility, about your efforts to atone and to make amends and to express remorse. And that's one of the reasons that they're standing by you. If you didn't accept responsibility but were convicted at a trial, then you still might want them to express, what they know about you as being an honest citizen, generous and responsible, and a real good credit to your community. So the letter should not, what it should not do is tell the judge anything about the crime, or it was unfair, or it was a malicious prosecution, right? That doesn't serve your interests. A good character reference is going to be balanced. They're going to acknowledge that you've got great character traits, and that's all the person can really comment on, is what they know about your character. In all reality, the person is in no position to be talking about your crime. That person is in the position of being able to talk about what they know about you, how you've helped the community, and the more detail they can give, the better. So, for example, I remember one time Jim helped me when I was struggling with a health problem, and he just called me out of the blue and said, "Hey, I know you're bedridden. Maybe I could help you out. What kind of groceries would you like me to pick up? I'm going to the grocery store. Let me pick them up. I'll bring them to your house. I'll put them away. I'll assist you in any way I can," right? That is a statement that doesn't have anything to do with the crime, but it has everything to do with what kind of friend you are, or what kind of character you have. You want this person to write about your consistency and how you align with the mores or the goals of society. It should be respectful and a professional, and should follow a formal structure, because it is a letter that is going to a federal judge. So you want to introduce in the first part of this letter, identify yourself. My name is Michael Santos, and I have known Jim for the past 14 years. I've known him because he was really helpful to me when I first came out of prison, and he helped me learn how to drive. I didn't even know that I'd forgotten how to drive, but Jim was there kind of teaching me the rules of the road and helping me become more confident as a driver. And I'm very grateful to him for doing that, because he didn't have to. I was the one who went to prison, and when I came home, he didn't look at me for the crimes that I committed, but rather just wanted to help me become a good, positive member of society. And I always found him to be kind and honest and responsible. And it's really because of him that I got stable faster and was able to begin building my own life. So I wanted to write this letter as an acknowledgement of who he is as a person, and why I just wanted this honorable court to be aware of that. I'm not in a position to talk at all about the crime or the sentence. I just wanted to say I know him as a good person. I stand behind him as he's gone through this journey, and on the other side of this journey, I will be standing by him again. He has pledged to keep me informed of his progress, and I want to be considered as a member of his support network. And I hope that you will consider these comments in your own deliberations on what the appropriate sanction is. If you could find him a candidate of mercy, I hope that you will take these comments into your consideration and deliberations. I just wanted you to know I consider him to be a good person. It's just something that is a pretty simple character reference letter, but it fulfills those goals of describing who you are, how you've known the person, what you've seen about his character. You've provided a few examples, and he's been honest with me and telling me about the crime, and that's just a practical tip on gathering these letters. Now, as a practical matter, again, I would encourage you to keep it 1 to 1.5 pages in length. You definitely want to send it to your attorney and have your attorney put it together as part of the sentencing package or memorandum. You could have a copy of it. You may want to share it with your probation officer, but just don't include any templates. Don't give guidance so that all the letters sound the same. And don't worry about it being overly polished. I think the judges really prefer to have generic wording and just honesty. So that you're looking to develop a body of letters that will really humanize you as an individual, and as much specifics and sincerity in the letter as possible, and keep it personal. And that's all you really need for a character reference letter. Again, I don't think you need to hire any consultants for this. I think you can do this on your own. This video kind of basically gives you a template to follow. And together in this era of artificial intelligence, these are things that you can do on your own. But if you do need to have a guide or somebody to help you, I only recommend Justin Paperny, who is a sponsor of our nonprofit. And as a courtesy, he offers interactive webinars for members of our community for free. Just visit whitecollaradvice.com/nonprofit, and you could ask your questions. I'm sorry that I'm not available personally to help you with these matters. My focus is really on building more pathways for people to earn freedom through merit, and that's what I'm trying to do for you. My name is Michael Santos. I'm the founder of Prison Professors, and I believe in you.